Boy, I'll sure be glad when. I'll sure be happy when. Whoa, now what's happening with you? How you? How your mom and them? Let's get into it. Today we're going to talk about just that. And we've all been there. I'm guilty of it all the time. I'll sure be glad when this happened. I'll sure be glad when that happened. I'll sure be glad when I move from over here. I'll sure be glad when I get a new car. You know what I'm talking about. But why can't we be glad now? Why do we have to wait till we get to that other point or place or thing or whatever to be glad or to be happy? What if that don't ever happen? Then what? And like I always say, I'm talking to me just as much as I'm talking to you or anybody else. Cause I've always been bad with that. You know what I'm saying? I used to live in some areas and some neighborhoods and some apartments and some places that wasn't the best. But I sure be glad when we get from over here. The Bible says that if you be faithful over a few, I'll make you rulers over many. Now, I tell y'all these scriptures, but I can't off the top of them tell you where they come from or what book of the Bible they're in and all of that. So you can Google it. It'll if you're interested, you can Google it, because most people don't believe in the Bible anyway, but this ain't for you. So anyway, I'm saying we have to learn how to, number one, stop saying that, because words have power. You know what I'm saying? And I'm guilty of that as well. I said that in another one of my videos. We know that words have power. Whatever you put out into the universe or into the atmosphere or whatever you want to call it, whatever you speak out of your mouth, the power of life, the life and death is in the power of the tongue. So words do have power. If you're constantly speaking negative, you're going to get negative. If you're constantly speaking positive, you're going to get positive. And I'm a witness. I promise you that's how it works. It don't always seem that way, but in the end, it always works out like that. Anyway, let's try to learn to speak better over ourselves. Let's try to learn to stop saying that, and because that win may not never come. You know what I'm saying? And I don't mean the W-I-N. I mean the W-H-E-N. Or maybe it's both. You know what I'm saying? It's just like what I spoke on in another video about going through stuff until you learn lessons in them. If you constantly saying, I ain't got this, I ain't got that, I'll be glad when I get from here, I'll be glad when I get this, I'll be glad when this, I'll be glad when that, it's going to be just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And trust me, I get it, because I'm always on that. I'm always on that. Well, I know I'm supposed to speak positive, but bro, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is jacked up. This is messed up, and this, that, the third. You know what I'm talking about. But again, if I got a bucket and I don't take care of the bucket, why would God allow me to get a brand new ride? If I got an old raggedy house, I don't take care of it, why would he give me a new one? You feel me? It's just, sometimes it don't make sense, but it really do make sense if you really practice it and speak it to yourself, and you have to kind of make it almost a ritual. Rituals are not good. I'm the king of rituals. I can tell you that. I can tell you that right now. I'm not as bad as like some of the ball players where they gotta wear the same color sock on the same foot. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not like that, but as far as, I call them routines, but if you look at them, they're rituals. But let me not get off topic. If we constantly telling ourselves and the other people around us that I'll be glad when and I'll be happy when, that means we're not glad now. We're not happy now. You know what I'm saying? And to move on from that, but to add to it, sometimes it's good to stop and smell the roses, so to speak, how they used to say. Take your time. My biggest thing is the journey. Most time I miss the journey, trying to get to where I gotta go. Mentally, not physically too, but I'm speaking metaphorically now. I always miss the journey trying to get to where I need to go. Hence, I'll be glad when I get here. I'll be glad when I get there. I'll be glad when this happens. You know what I mean? But the little things along the way, and not just the little things along the way, but the little things that happens every day that we take for granted, they're actually really not little things, but we take them for granted because we feel like they're little, or we don't. They just automatic. They're going to happen, but they're not going to always happen. You woke up this morning, but somebody else didn't. So that's not automatic. You feel what I'm saying and where I'm going with this? We take it as automatic. We take it for granted. And it's not just, because that's cliche. We hear that all the time, but it's not just that. It's, for instance, like anybody who have children, grown children, you can think back, or sometimes we say to ourselves now that I wish I would have enjoyed them more when they were babies or when they were children. But because we were so wrapped up into what they needed and why they crying and why the school calling me and why this, that, and the third, we just got wrapped up into that and life on top of all of that. But we didn't really take the time, and some of us may have. I can only speak for me. And I know there's a lot of people that feels the same way. But you wish you would have taken more time with them, or you wish you would have taken more time to basically like enjoy them. Because once they get grown and gone, they got their own lives, and rightfully so. We did the same thing. It's a cycle. So they ain't going to be around all the time. They're not going to be able to come around hugging your neck all the time. But when they children and you walk in the door, they won't hug your neck. They won't kiss on you. They want to be around you. They want to do everything you doing. But again, you're too busy. No, bro, wait a minute. Just hold up. Let me finish this. Or just hold up. I got to do this. Or just, you feel what I'm saying? And it all ties in. Because I'm using that to say, even if we said then, boy, I'll be glad when these children get grown. I mean, that's one of them things that in some cases, it's not that you didn't like your children, but they weren't acting the way you wanted them to act, or they was doing things they wasn't supposed to do, or things you didn't teach them to do, whatever. And so you said that, I'll be glad when y'all grown and all of that kind of stuff. But I'm talking about even before then, when they were babies. We loved on them and we did whatever we did, but we were busy. And we would, then I'll be glad when they start walking, and then I'll be glad when they start doing this, and I'll be glad when they go to school. You get the picture. But let's just slow down, or let's try to learn how to slow down and enjoy the ride, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Because that's where all of the lessons, that's where all of the good stuff, that's where everything is in the process. And none of us want, I'll speak for me again, I don't want to deal with the process. I don't want to go through the process. I just want to get where I gotta go. You said I gotta do X, Y, and Z to get there. okay, I just finished X, Y, and Z, let's go. That ain't the way it works. Because in X, Y, and Z, might have been some happiness, or might have been some new stuff to learn, or might have been something that was good for me. But I missed it because I'm trying to hurry up and get to where I'm going. If that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So again, let's just try to slow down and enjoy life. Because for one thing, we've heard this our whole lives, but we didn't realize it until we hit 40 and 50 and 60 and and time looked like it just doing this. 1 year, 2 year, 3 year. You be like, man, where them all of them years went? That's how fast it goes. And even then, we said when we was younger, boy, I'll be glad when I make 18. I'll be glad when I can get out of my mom and them house. I'll be glad when I can get my own. And now we wishing we would have stayed right where we was at. Because now we got all these bills and all of this other stuff that the world throw at you. And you be like, boy, I wish I would have listened. You know what I'm saying? So all of that is the same thing. And again and again and again and again, I'm guilty. I'm the main one that be wishing I'll be glad when I get me a house. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through a situation right now that I'm supposed to get something, but it's some other stuff hindering me. And if I had this, that wouldn't have been a problem. And I'd be glad when I do this because I wouldn't have to worry about that. And you know what I'm saying? And it's going to happen. I just got to figure out another way for it to happen. And even in that figuring out, that might be the better situation for me anyway. Instead of rushing to try to hurry up and get it and ain't got nowhere to put it and ain't got nowhere to do it. That's what I'm talking about. But again, and I'm going to say it for the last time because I know I can be repetitive, but I'm really trying to get me and anybody else who need to hear it to really, really, really hear it and let it sink down into you. Let's try to learn how to enjoy the process. Let's try to learn how to get everything we need out of the process. Because I know for a fact, in certain process, I left whatever I left a whole lot of stuff to go back to them children. I could have enjoyed them more. You know what I'm saying? To go back to some friendships and some relationships I could have enjoyed more. Or just some things I learned, or some things I've been through in my life. I could have learned more in them. Or I could have gotten some more enjoyment out of them. Or whatever the case might have been. But because I'm so caught up on, I'll be so glad when. And then picture hearing that from your children. To go back to the children, but I'm going somewhere with this. Picture hearing that from your children. You didn't like to hear it because you might have been like, I'll be glad too. You just don't know. You know what I'm saying? But picture God constantly hearing us say that. You ain't glad that I woke you up this morning? You ain't glad that you ain't starving? You're not glad that you're not living under the bridge? You're not glad that you, even though you got a bucket to get you to A and B, you're not glad that you got a job? You're not glad that you can move around every day? You're not glad that you woke up in your right mind? You dig where I'm going with that? That's an insult to him. If you really think about it, that's straight up insult. Yeah, Lord, I know you wake me up every morning, put breath in my body. I know you allow me to learn good easily. I know you allow me to move around. I don't have nobody cleaning me and feeding me and all of that. I know all of that, but I'll sure be glad when. Bro, that's an insult. That's a straight up, and I promise you on everything, I never thought about it like that. That just literally just came to my mind. And again, I know that's for me because I never thought about it like that. But I know it's for a lot of other people too. It's an insult to God. Out of all he does for us, and we get that way with our own people. But all I done for you, all I do for you, and that's how you gonna act with me? We do it. You can say you don't, but we all do it. So that's an insult. And thank you, Holy Spirit. Thank you, Lord, for revealing that. Because I promise you, I never thought about it like that. But I just realized that even when and this is on another tip, but even when I doubt my gifts or my abilities or what God has allowed me to learn or what God has given me as a gift, even when I do that, that's an insult to Him. You know what I'm saying? Because we're supposed to be made in His image. But if I'm down to me because I'm fat, or if I'm down to me because I can't sing like this one or that one, or if I'm down to me because but let me not get off topic. But all of that's an insult. All of that's an insult to God. Picture somebody, you've given everything you could give in life, and they tell you something like that. Yeah, I know you gave me all of that, but I'll be glad when I move out of this house. I'll be glad when I get $1 million. I'll be glad when I get rich. You might not never get rich. And it might be a reason why you don't get rich, because the way you gonna act when you get there, somebody might do something to you. But anyway, let me not go there. But you get the picture. So, like I said, I'm going to say it one more time and then I'm going to end this video. But I really want you to get it. I really want me to get it. I want it to sink in. Stop saying, I'll be glad when. Stop saying, I'll be happy when. You know what I'm saying? Be glad now. Be happy now. Be happy that you're alive. Be happy that you get new grace and mercy every day. Be happy that you don't have to live sleep under the bridge or live under the bridge. Be happy that you can go to your refrigerator and get something out of it and eat. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have that. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of people, and even that, most people don't want to hear that, because I ain't worrying about them. I'm talking about me right now. But there's so many people that's doing way worse than what you are. Not just financially, but mentally and spiritually and physically. You know how I've never been there, and God forbid I ever have to get there. But do you know how embarrassing and what's the other word? Anyway, do you know how it feels for a grown person to have somebody to clean them and feed them and dress them and take them where they got to go and talk on the phone for them and do all that? I worked in a boarding camp for a lot of years. I mentioned that before. My mother's cousin, when I moved to California, she had a boarding camp, and I worked there. Some of the people could take care of themselves. Some of them were just mental, they had mental issues, but some of them had physical issues. And I've done it all. I've cleaned them, I've bathed them, I've changed bed clothes, I've cut hair, I've shaved people, all of that. And I didn't feel some kind of way about it. Because every day I saw that was another reason for me to thank God that I'm in the situation I'm in. Even though I might have been broke, even though I might have not had the car I wanted, or to live where I wanted, or all of that. But to see that up close and personal, and most of us have seen it with family members or wherever we worked or whatever. But to see that and really think about that could be me. To see stuff happen to people and say that could be me or that could have been me. That gives you a whole new outlook on life. So again, stop saying I'll be glad when. Be glad now. Stop saying I'll be happy when. Be happy now. That happiness, I always hear this. Happiness is an inside job. Don't look for somebody to, I'll be glad when I get me a man. I'll be glad when I get me a good woman or a good man. They ain't gonna make you happy. I can promise you that right now. They could be the best woman and the best man. They ain't gonna never be able to make you happy. Because that's gonna be the worst part of, because now you're gonna be looking to them to make you happy, and it ain't gonna be nothing in this world that they could do to make you happy. Because if they do 100% of this and 50% of that, you're gonna have an issue with it. That's human nature. So anyway, if y'all like this type of content, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I appreciate you watching. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Help a brother out. You know what I'm saying? And don't forget to turn on the notification bell. That way you can be notified every time I upload a video if you like this type of content. And again, I appreciate y'all for watching and liking and commenting and all of that stuff. I really do, and I can't say it enough. So y'all be easy, and I'll see you in the next one. One love.